Well, top of the morning to you. I've been learning a little bit about meditation the past year, and I wanted to make a video about what I've learned about sitting. So right now, how I'm sitting, my legs are lower than my hips. I'm sitting on this pillow, and as you can see, when I took the pillow out, my knees went up, my hips went down. Now, when in meditation, we want our legs at a slant. Now, if we don't want to sit on the floor, you can still sit in a chair. So I'll show you this chair method. Because it's hard for people to sit, believe it or not. That's actually one of the main goals of yoga, is just to be able to simply sit and meditate for long, extended periods of time. So as you can see, where I'm sitting right now, my legs are going up from my hips. And so I'll take a pillow. This is, there's a name for this. I can't think of it. And now that I've put that down, my hips are starting to become higher than my legs. So they need to be facing down. And now when I sit in a chair, I'll tend to have my feet planted out in front of me, and I keep my hands just right here, and then I basically just sit up here. Let's see. So I'll just sit in this posture, and I keep my heart lifted, my shoulders relaxed, and there's different points that you go through in your body to when you start the meditation process to kind of bring yourself into the body. But right now I'm not talking about that. I just want to talk to you about the different types of sitting, because like I said, that is actually one of the main goals of yoga, is to be able to simply sit and meditate in a the word is called the word sukha and sthira in Sanskrit, meaning steady, and basically like steady and strong. And so let's go back down to the ground here. So the first pose that I was sitting in is a pose. It is an asana. The word asana means posture, and that is what most of us know in the West to be yoga to be, is primarily the postures, where you see people doing the different positions to it's like it looks kind of like, like a dance, like so this posture right now is called easy pose. Let me confirm it. That I'm sitting in right now, this is Sukhasana. This is called Sukhasana, easy pose. And the pose that people want to get to is called lotus pose. And lotus pose is where you have both of your feet and this is actually hard for my hips. It's not very wise for me to stay in this for too long, but this feels actually really good, stretching on my body. But this is called full lotus, and this is a goal. This posture right here, just being able to sit and breathe for any extended period of time. So this is lotus, and then half lotus is where one of the feet is up. Only one of them is up. Right? Okay. So then we have the one that I have found myself doing is called Vajrasana, and it's where you sit like this, and your feet help you to lift your hips. You can also put up your feet and sit on them like this, and that helps you again to lift out of your waist and lift and stay lifted in your body. So this is Virasana, right? Let's see. Vajrasana. Vajrasana is thunderbolt pose. And again, these are all just different postures that people want to be able to practice so that they can meditate. And hero pose is similar to Vajrasana, except that you open up your feet and you sit between them, and there's a mudra, your hands are in a certain position. Now I wanted to share this thing is, this is also a meditation seat, okay? And I used this past semester for a 24-hour meditation. I went and meditated for it. Actually, I only made it to 22 because I had to go to a class. But and I actually fell asleep at one point, and I was very cold at one point because it was outside. But as you can see, this seat has these curves on it, and something about it is just amazing. And I don't know, I have lower back issues, so that's why I'm hypersensitive and aware of this stuff, because I can't walk sometimes, because I was in an accident. And so this seat is very nice as well. There's no pressure on my legs whatsoever. My feet there's no, the circulation is still going through my knees and through my back. And again, the Buddha is known, there's several pictures of the Buddha where he's touching the ground. So sometimes when I start meditation, I like to touch the ground like the Buddha and just ground myself. As somebody who was grounded a lot when they were growing up, that was my one of my forms of punishment. When I would get in trouble, I would get grounded, and for weeks I wouldn't be allowed to do things. And so it's funny that I am practicing something where I have to ground myself now. So that one that I just used is from, there's different lineages. There's different lineages of meditation types. Okay, so the Buddha is you're gonna find a lot of this more in with Chinese and Japanese, Tibetan roots. Whereas these postures, Vajrasana and easy pose, those are more from the continent of India, the Indian yoga meditation. In the Buddhist perspective, they're not incorporating the yoga, but they definitely incorporate the meditation. And so, let me see, where was I going with that? So that seat, that little wooden seat, that's coming from a type of meditation that is more of the Buddhist lineage, whereas the one that I'm really have been studying the longest is the yogic lineage. The word Hindu was prescribed to the people in India by the invading people, so I don't want to use the word Hindu, but that's the word that most people know as Hindu. They relate all the Ganesha, Brahma, Saraswati, Shiva, all of these beings, all these godheads, all these gods, somehow got grouped into something called Hinduism. And so it's, I don't really like using the word Hinduism, but what I'm studying is yoga. And what I've learned too is that this yogic practice also has roots in Egypt. There's Kemetic yoga, which I'm very interested in studying. If you are a Kemetic yoga teacher out there watching this, I would love to train with you. I did a few of the I learned the Sun Salutation last semester, and the way that we are asked to kind of bend and dive out of our bodies worked really well for my body type. So yeah, the goal, believe it or not, the goal of yoga is to, pardon the dark lighting, the goal of yoga is to meditate. that's one of the main goals. And it's not that you're reaching enlightenment as much as you're just being able to sit in a healthy way for long extended periods of time so that you can do whatever meditation you want to do, whether that's meditating on Ganesha or Jesus or just the air, because a lot of the times when you get into these meditative practices, they're not asking you to pray or think of anything. Really, if anything, they're asking you not to think of anything, to notice what you're thinking, to just start to be aware of the thinking process in general, because what we have to do is train ourselves to think. We have developed over the years patterns of thinking, and it's gotten us this far, and we haven't really had to be aware of it because it's worked. But once you start to sit with yourself and listen within to the different conversations that are going on, that you are a part of, there's kind of like an ever chattering conversation that exists that is a part of learning about what thinking is, because you don't have to believe your thoughts, and you don't have to necessarily even identify or acknowledge them. You don't have to turn your thoughts into anything. And it's not so much either about being thoughtless. I'm somebody who has been called an overthinker a lot in my life, and I am grateful for my brain and the ability to think, and so it's not that I'm trying to stop thinking, it's that I'm just learning how I think to begin with. This thing right here is called a bolster. This is not for meditation, by the way, but I like to use it for, you can use this for it's a support system with different postures. I like to use this to lie on, and I have my butt on the front of it, and this will allow for me to just my spine to kind of align. And this also you can use as a meditation posture, more or less. Laying down, there's lying meditation, there's also walking meditation, which is really fun because you just walk really slowly and thoughtfully. And the key is with the lying meditations, though, is to not fall asleep. It's okay if you fall asleep, but that's not the goal. You're not doing those. You want to kind of get to the place right before you fall asleep, and explore that. But yeah, in many ways, lots of things can be a meditation. You can dishwashing, when you're doing the dishes, it can become a meditation. Just anything that you do can be kind of a practice in awareness of thought. One thing that I've learned over the years is that we make tiny agreements almost every moment within our minds and within ourselves. These agreements are so small and subtle that we have to actually stop and say, where is this coming from? Why am I agreeing to this? Am I agreeing to this because it's true, or it's a belief system? Is it? And what I mean by this, it's like a thought comes through your mind, no, I can't do that because it's a Monday. I can't do that on Mondays. And then there's a part of you that will be like, yeah, I just can't do that on Mondays. And then you just go on with the day. And instead of stopping and being like, who says that Mondays aren't a good day? And you kind of go into that. And it's not so much about confronting and fighting as much as it is just saying to yourself, or even certain things like clothing, I can't buy that, I can't wear that, that's not for me, it's not for my body or whatever. Those kinds of little tiny agreements that we make about ourselves throughout the day add up. And we have to learn how to be that's just not true. That's just a thought, and that's just an idea, and I don't have to feed into that. So that's a big part of what meditation is just understanding the way that our minds work, and then using different tools to work from there.